DBJ here. This one is just going to be about playing the game, not the rules. And I'm going to make an analogy here. I'm not sure how many people watching these videos are sports fans, but something that always annoyed me with like soccer and basketball especially are people that flop. If you've ever seen a sporting event, you'll see a player where they pretend to be fouled by another player. They'll pretend to be elbowed in the face if they're playing basketball. They'll pretend to be kicked or kneed by or hit in the shin by another player in soccer. They will attempt to undermine the other team by creating a situation where artificially they make a player commit an act of penalty that's not about playing the game. And although there are rules to penalize that, it's almost like, well, if I get away with it and no one sees me, it doesn't count. And I'm not sure if the word flopping is good, but when you play a game, and if you play a game and you play the rules, though, to me, I consider them two different things. And that's why those of us that are into role playing are really against like power gamers, min-maxers, munchkins, people who want to maximize the most out of their, Pathfinder's perfect example of a game where players will maximize the effectiveness of their character by playing the rules. They know that there's a loophole in a rule and they get away with it. They know there's a power build that they could make that's difficult for a game master to make a challenge for their character. But does that really tell a good story in the game? Is that an element of the game? There are people who in Pathfinder take certain feats because it gives them these free attacks of opportunity. Does that make sense in the real world? In the real, quote-unquote, realistic world that your game master is setting before you? Maybe not. And if it doesn't make any sense to me, then why include it in the game? Yes, you're playing the rules means that it doesn't matter how it looks, what its perception would be in the real world, even that it makes sense for your character to even have these things, but I'm going to take it anyway because it just gives me a numbered bonus. Please, guys, let's stop that. Let's play the game. Let's react to the situation ahead of us. When you're surrounded by 20 gnolls with javelins and crossbows, let's be realistic about it and go, even if I'm a knight with a sword, I know my armor may defend me for the most part. Even my friends, they're not going to survive, and these are overwhelming odds. Maybe I should give up. It doesn't matter what level you are, what your skill level is, or how many hit points you have. If you're sitting there calculating, well, I've got 80 hit points, they can only do 1d6 from their javelins. They only have a 28% chance of hitting me through my armor class, so I'm going to fight them. No one thinks like that. People don't think like that, and even the most advanced warriors in the world know that even given a small chance, there's a chance of dying. Real world statistics do not count in emotional, adrenaline-filled situations. Please, guys, play the game, not the rules. If you play the rules only dictate are a simulation of what the designers of the game have in store for you to make it as realistic as possible. But it's only a simulation. It cannot take into account every encounter you will always make. But if you play the game, if you immerse yourself into the game and say, yes, this is how my character would react in this situation. My character's abilities give me this. My character's knowledge gives me that. I have a background that I draw on, and like Indiana Jones. Hey, I don't like snakes. I don't need to have on my character sheet a GURPS minus 10 phobia against snakes. My character just does not like snakes. I never liked them. I don't like the way they look and move. They don't have arms and legs. Their eyes are funny. Why do they keep sticking out their tongue? You can have a character that doesn't like snakes. You don't have to have a limitation about it. You don't have to have a negative penalty on anything that you do. You can just decide that my character does not like snakes, and more or less, despite the fact that I have a super high charisma and my character is based around being extremely diplomatic, that when he meets a lizard man, he may just be thrown off and maybe tongue-tied. And sure, my character is a high-level bard that can convince anyone of anything until they encounter this lizard man, and then you just decide, you know what, I can't even look this guy in the eye. He freaks me out. He's making my skin crawl. Decide to do those things. Play the game, not the rules. Anyway, it's a great way to be very creative in your storytelling, not to be a hassle to your game master, and to allow other players to shine and take their moment of spotlight. So anyway, be creative, don't be destructive.